Joining us now, talk Orioles and Ravens, Fox 45. So in the Window Nation guest hotlines, Bob Haynie, Vince Rado, Nolan McGraw. Let's bring in AJ Gersh. AJ, good morning. How you feeling?
Incredible, fellas. How about yourselves?
If you're feeling incredible, then I'm ashamed to admit how I'm feeling right now. But let's talk about the Orioles first, the original Birds of Baltimore going down to Sarasota. We were talking earlier, AJ, first segment of the show, about Kjerstad having an incredible, if you will, beginning to the spring training schedule. 3 hits last night, or yesterday, I should say. His OPS is around 12. All right, might not be, Kjerstad when it comes to catching fly balls out in the outfield, but boy, the bat can play. How much has he done to, reinstill confidence within the organization that he can be a guy? And the assumption is he's not going to make the team out of Sarasota. So what does he have to do down in Norfolk to, turn heads, whether it's in Baltimore or elsewhere?
Well, yeah, Kjerstad is certainly giving the Orioles a confidence boost in his ability to bounce back from what seemed to be a real stagnation due to injury after injury. It's not too far removed that Kjerstad got called up in 2024 and was quite literally one of the best hitters in all of baseball for an entire month, not just on the Orioles. He was one of the most consistent hitters in baseball. He was batting over 400 for a month in 2024. But, of course, the injuries derailed his season last year, and it looks like whatever he did with the holidays in the offseason, getting rid of the step before his swing, and, of course, his health issues look like a thing of the past, at least for the time being. What he needs to do is go down to Norfolk, stay consistent, hit somewhere between 260 and above, and just wait for his time, because right now there is a major logjam in the outfield, especially after acquiring Taylor Ward, and also another guy who was injured last season but is having an incredible spring, Tyler O'Neill, is going to get a whole ton of playing time. The Orioles are paying him for a reason, so of course, you got Kowser there and Beavers. You want to get reps, too. So there's a big logjam in the outfield. And Kjerstad needs to force his way in Norfolk to find some reps in Baltimore this season.
AJ, if Coby Mayo is the Orioles starting third baseman on opening day, is that a good or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing. I think Coby Mayo, much like a guy like Kjerstad, needs consistent reps. And coming into this year, he wasn't set to get that. And I think this is probably the best case scenario for both his development and the Orioles. If Jordan Westburg is going to go down, to have a guy like Coby Mayo waiting in the wings who could play every day. Now, will he turn into the guy, the top prospect that everyone expected him to be? I guess the jury's still out on that. But I think what we've seen out of him so far in Sarasota is that he hasn't lost a beat at third. His defensive ability is at least average, if not a little bit above average. And we know what his bat can do when he gets going. So they just need to get it going.
What is Ryan Mountcastle's role going to be this year, AJ, for the Orioles, given the fact that the guy they just signed in the offseason literally plays every game for the last 2 years?
He does. I think Ryan Mountcastle is a platoon DH first baseman type of player right now. The Orioles are waiting for him to get back to literally his first full season in the bigs, when he looked like a guy who was going to turn into what Pete Alonso has become. But that's never come to fruition. So what's going to happen with Mountcastle is the Orioles probably are hoping that he can stay hot for the first few months of the season, and then utilize him as a trade chip come the deadline, when they're probably going to be looking to upgrade a bullpen. That's their weak point, as they have a really strong rotation for the first time in years, and of course a really strong lineup as well. They're going to want to upgrade something else. So Mountcastle, if he could get hot at the beginning of the season because Mayo moves over to third and there's no one in front of him at first behind Alonso, that's going to be a good thing for the Orioles in the trade market come midseason.
Now, AJ, come March 11th, a week from Wednesday, is Lamar Jackson have a done deal, and is Tyler Linderbaum still on the Ravens?
I want to say the answer is yes to both of those questions, but that might be the eternal optimist in me talking, Vinny. I think Lamar Jackson has proven to be a difficult negotiator, to say the least, as we remember the saga from a couple of years back, him being his own agent. But I do think that what I've been hearing from DaCosta and just the fact that the Ravens quite literally will be in a cap purgatory with $74 million going to one single player. I want to say that there will be an extension, and if not, Bisciotti wasn't blowing smoke when he said he'll restructure it in a second. He'll give him a signing bonus, and we'll move forward. But as for Tyler Linderbaum, I do think that he'll end up with the Ravens after a restructure, after an extension. I think that DaCosta putting out into the public eye that he has a market-setting offer, which is something DaCosta doesn't like to do, but I think that was purposeful. I think that he put that in the public for a reason, and I think that probably will give a little bit of leverage back to the Ravens in negotiation, and I think he'll end up in Baltimore next year.
AJ, let me ask you this. Why do you think that it gives leverage back to the Ravens? The only thing that I'm thinking is Linderbaum's a free agent. He's the best lineman on the market, and everybody's looking for old linemen, so I don't see how that gives any leverage to the Ravens. I think, my personal opinion, if he gets to the 9th, a week from today, he's gone.
Yeah, I think that the fact that you put out there saying, okay, we've offered him a market-setting offer may, if you're another GM, if you're other teams, it might say, oh, man, what is this guy even asking for? And if the Ravens, who is a team that has always re-signed their top players to market-setting offers, can't get a guy to agree to a deal, what is this agent like to deal with, number one? What are they asking for him? What will he eventually be getting? So I think that might actually dissuade other teams from negotiating with this agent, who seemingly is a tough cookie to crack. And if Eric DaCosta has had a head start in doing that already, I think that puts the Ravens in pole position to land him. But I do agree with you saying if we get to a point where we're a day or two out from the new league year, and number one, a restructure and extension hasn't happened with Lamar, and then number two, Linderbaum hasn't signed in term with that. It's more unlikely, I'd say.
What do you think they're going to do at backup quarterback, AJ?
That's a great question. I think I would not rule out Tyler Huntley returning, but obviously that's going to be a discussion with the new regime. He's a guy that obviously is very familiar with Harbaugh and playing under him for the last however many years. But he played well when Lamar was hurt last year, and I feel as if Jesse Minter probably noticed that. So I wouldn't be shocked if he's back. But I also wouldn't be shocked if the Ravens went out and drafted a guy in the mid-late rounds who fits the scheme that Declan Doyle wants to run in 2026. So I think also, a third option is they do both of those things. So time will tell on that.
Well, you are the eternal optimist today, AJ Gersh. Fox 45. AJ, appreciate the time as always. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we'll catch up with you soon here. Opening day just weeks away, believe it or not.
Oh, man. Can't wait, fellas. Appreciate you having me on.